Good morning. It's August 21st today, and we're starting Job. So, I wanted to make a few comments on that. It's interesting as I was driving in today, that verse that's famous here from this first couple of chapters: the Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. That verse actually came to my mind as I was driving in today, not knowing that I was even going to be looking at Job when I got in. But it's interesting how the Lord brings sometimes a verse to mind and then reinforces it through other things, through your experience in that day, week, whatever. I think it probably has to do with the fact that God uses Scripture in that way. The Holy Spirit uses Scripture in that way to continually bring it to mind and apply it to our lives when we need it. So that's evidence of the Spirit's working in our lives. But it's interesting, I think, when Job says that, it's an atypical response, right? It's not something that we would naturally say when hardship comes our way. The Lord gave, the Lord has taken away, blessed be the name of the Lord. A bit of an atypical response, and we can sometimes be guilty of giving that as a response to somebody who's facing hardship and saying, "Well, this is what Scripture says," and it's certainly true, and it's certainly the right response. It is scripturally and biblically true. Nothing off about that, but sometimes we need to process through it a bit more. And so I find it interesting that Job, that's kind of his initial response, but there's still going to be chapters and chapters and chapters to follow. And in fact, the next chapter is going to start with his lamenting his birth, and it's quite a far cry from what he says there. I don't know how much time has elapsed, and I know that there are various cycles in the grieving process of anger and denial and yeah, and just numbness that can go through. And so I'm sure that we see Job go through all those different kinds of feelings here, and sometimes they come in waves, sometimes they come in cycles, sometimes they come in different order. And I think it's interesting that Job's first response is this, but then he's going to have to deal with some other responses too: his own anger, disappointment, disillusionment, questioning God, understanding his own lack of faith, and even hearing from his friends the things that they say, and trying to work through his theology. And one of the things I love about Job is that we get to see the raw emotion that he has, that there's nothing censored about what he says. He pours it all out and accuses God at times and doesn't understand what's happening to him or why. And that's all legitimate, normal human emotions. And I think it's important that Scripture shows us those things, that we wouldn't think that, if Job's response all the way through was the Lord gave and the Lord has taken away, may the name of the Lord be praised, and there was just a smile on his face the whole time, he would be unrealistic. That's just not how people are in this world. And he comes to a depth of understanding of God and of himself and of his friends and of his theology through this process of dealing with the mental anguish of his suffering too. So I think it's important for us to have this piece of scripture so that we know how to deal with real life situations and come out on the other side a bit stronger, but knowing that that other side might be weeks, months, years away, and it's still God who walks alongside of us, even if we don't hear his voice or understand what he's doing in the midst of it. So easy to say when you're not currently going through a trial, but the depth of what we understand from God through it is worth every minute of the suffering that's a part of it. Hard to say that when you're in the midst of it, though, I understand. So beginning the trek through Job now, and it'll be several weeks or at least several days to do that.